Om Sadashvasamarambham Shankaracharya Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yada Vidya Vilasena Bhuta Bhautika Prastayaha Tam Naumi Paramatmanam Sachidananda Vigraham. So we are seeing presumption. Okay? That. Yeah, what is your question?
The difference between assumption and presumption. When you assume, you don't have a scientific background on that. And presuming means you have the statistical data.
Yeah. See, assuming, the two meaning difference between presumption and assumption. You can assume anything about anything, no? Hey, she's worn a nice saree, maybe it's a birthday. That's an assumption, correct? Is there any grounds for assumption, really speaking? Maybe, but it can be very, very subjective. What is happening? An assumption can be very subjective, no? Yes, connect up. I think this has to be changed. Yep. Now it has come on again. Okay.
Am I the only one?
Okay, I am back. Okay, so an assumption can be wild, highly subjective. Whereas what is a presumption? There is no way to explain this, what I am knowing, without this thing. Like what am I seeing in that example? What am I seeing? I am seeing Hatta Gatta Devadatta. Hatta Gatta. Whole day is not eaten. And it has been going on for days. So there is no way he can be like that without presuming that he is eating in the night. Daytime he is not eating, he is nocturnal. See, without that you can't explain that fact. Isn't it?
Presumption is more logical. But
It's a logical. Whereas assumption, hey, nice dress, birthday, what is the connection? Nice dress can be, I felt like it. No, I'm going for lunch afterwards. I mean, there can be so many reasons. Correct? Yeah. Presumption has to be of a fact that will explain away something that is incongruous here. What is incongruous? The guy can't be fasting whole day and losing weight for the last 1 week. Without losing weight, he cannot be fasting. Can you see that? Yeah. How do you explain the fact he is not losing weight, for example? Upadhi will be hormonal issues. So you take care of that. That's called upadhi, a defect in that. There's no hormonal issues.
Can you say assumption is a shot in the dark?
Assumption is a shot in the dark, exactly. Well, a presumption is not. Unless this is taken into account, there is no way this can happen. So presumption has got a definitive, it's called deductive logic in English. This is a deductive logic about it. How do you explain this? Without that, it can't be explained. You eliminated everything, exactly. Sherlock Holmes. If you eliminate all possibilities, what you are left behind, however illogical it may seem, that's the only possibility that is there. That is presumption.
That way, for murder, who is benefiting most out of it should be suspected.
Yeah, exactly. Who is the beneficiary of that?
Most benefit.
Yeah. But that is also only a suspect, it is not definitive. Yeah. Not definitive.
So presumption is still not definite.
Give me a medical example where you use presumption.
Medical science is presumption. Everything in medical science is presumption.
Yeah.
You presume it is cancer until you
Yeah.
get otherwise.
Yeah.
You may
Exactly.
see the picture.
Yeah.
Then it has to be very strongly suggestive of that.
Exactly. That's why without that diagnosis, you cannot explain all these things that's happening.
So when we see something which is looking very dangerous,
Yeah.
I write it looks like malignancy.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure it is cancer. But then the patient turns around and asks me, why you are not putting it? I said, it's not my job. The final diagnosis comes on histopath.
Exactly.
So it is a presumptive diagnosis. So though it is very close to the truth,
Yeah.
it is still presumptive.
Exactly. So here it is slightly more different. Here presumption is more definitive.
Yeah, even this is more definitive.
Yeah.
We are very close. But
Yeah.
we don't say for sure. Means we need a histopath report saying it's
Yeah,
cancer.
exactly.
Right on imaging.
Yeah. Yeah, because the final diagnosis belongs to the histopath. Exactly. Yeah. So like this, you see a set of symptoms in a person. Without this being there, the symptoms just cannot be explained. That means what? That you presume it is this. See, any pramana can have its own defect. That's a different thing. That's why we always call upadhis are there. Like how there is not enough light, I will not see it clearly. That is a different thing altogether. Why upadhis come in. That's why those things have to be taken care of. That's why I said no hormonal problems in this person. But even with hormonal problems, weight loss may be less, but it will be there. No. Yeah. Like, I'll tell you another presumption. This Jain lady whom I know eats only one meal alternate days. Only one meal, alternate days. And how long is she keeping it going? 1 year. 1 year. Yeah, 1 year you are having one meal alternate days. And how is that meal? You sit down, eat. Once you get up, you cannot have anything else after that, not even a cup of tea. So she comes into the hospital after 6 months complaining or something. So we check her weight, this, that. Before she started the fast, we give her a medical examination. Now we are giving it same weight, yeah.
3,000 calories in 1 meal.
Exactly. You presume that that one meal has got 3,000 calories in it.
They actually eat 3,000 calories.
That's the only way you can maintain weight. Na? Minimum for a woman 1,500 calories you need. So it's a presumption, valid.
Sai Baba said once that we would not live fasting. He said fasting means whole day you are thinking of food only.
Exactly. And then, see, presumption, I'm 100% sure this is it. So I asked her, जो एक टाइम खाती क्या खाती है रोज का जैसा and I saw her daughter-in-law trying to hide a smile. I said, okay. I said, अभी कभी खाएगा कल खाएगा कल खाएगा हम आता है कल. I told, हाँ आ जाइए हमारे साथ खाना खाइए बहुत खुश हो. Then I found out she has started cooking from 7 o'clock in the morning. Making all the dishes. There were 3 types of farzan. Samosa, and farzan like samosa, kachori and all. Okay? And that meal, I've had this. That meal, I could not eat 1/3 of what she was eating. Honestly. And that time I was much younger. I'm talking about this, how many? 30 years back. Okay. Yeah. And not only that, after that, her daughter-in-law gets her a bowl and she washes her hands and wipes it. She lays down there for a small nap. Why? Because then get up, her daughter-in-law will make a cup of tea for her, then she'll get up for that. So the presumption is right, because pratyaksha ho gaya abhi. Are you seeing? This is it. A presumption means you cannot explain away certain things without this presumption. Without taking that this must be there. It must be there. There's a definitive aspect about it. While an assumption can be highly subjective. It's wild. Presumption takes care of facts. And you bring in an argument to explain away an unexplained fact. An unexplained data. Yeah. Karthik has something.
Science is like that only, right, Swamiji? Gravity, electromagnetism,
Yeah.
everything is presumption
Yeah.
only.
After that, they made it, tried to make it perception. Yeah. Because look at it. If gravity is not there, this will not happen. Okay. Yeah. There is a bending of light in this area. That means there is gravity functioning, high gravity functioning, high amount of gravity, not small. But I don't see anything. The only way that can be explained is presumption of a black hole. Super dense body. That's the only way you can explain it. So, presumption is a valid pramana. It is not inference, because what is the inferential data? Where is the vyapti? For it to be inference, there has to be a vyapti. Where is the vyapti available? There is no vyapti. Yatra yatra dhuma, tatra tatra agni. Where is the vyapti? Vyapti will be yatra tatra golam, tatra tatra akarshanam, gravity. But here you can't see the golam. There is no perceptual data. So it has to be a presumptive thing. There is data, the bending of light. Therefore, presume. Yeah. Or you will getting the knack of the whole thing. The difference between presumption and an assumption. Assumption is subjective. Presumption is also by your mind, yes, but that's the only way you can explain away what is available. Because what is available, there is no doubt about that. Yeah. Or like that Akali minister who went on a fast, hunger fast. मैं तो खाना किधर खाता हूँ, थोड़ा प्रसाद लेता हूँ मंदिर का, कड़ा प्रसाद 3 times a day, and no activity. You should be putting on weight. So, are you getting this? What is presumption? Arthat apatti. That is possible apatti only if this artha is there. Yeah. See, in the beginning we will say 2-step logic, etc. We will say that. Yeah, beginning 2-step logic is fine because of this. But it is more than that. Okay, it's more than that. Artha apatti it is. This is a more precise way of looking at it. In the, Mithyatvam of Jagat. Remember we saw that? Yeah, the Mithyatvam is Arthapatti. Because the Veda does not use the word Mithya there. But Jnanena Bada means it has to be Mithya. Otherwise, how can you negate by knowledge? For which examples are available? Rope, snake, etc. So, yeah. Yeah. All right. Clear up to now? The last time what we saw, all that is clear. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Correct. Abhasa matra. Even it can be applied to other places also, but let us leave it for that time maybe. It's technical.
And this is more, this is of course in Vyavhara, because it feels like heaven and all Shastra is a Pramana.
There also will come. Hold on. Shastra के भी बारे में आता है अभी इधर. Okay. All right. Then we are talking about Shruta Artha Apattischa Dvida. First here said Drishtam and Shrutam. Now Shrutam also is twofold. How is Shrutam twofold? Look at it. Abhidhana Anupapattihi Abhihita Anupapattischa. Abhidhana Anupapatti. Your intention is not fully clear. Okay? Because I heard only part of the sentence. Therefore, what is intended is also not clear. Like he gives me an example. Tatra yatra vakya ekadesha shravanayana अन्वय अभिधान अनुपपत्तया अन्वय अभिधान उपयोगी पदांतरम कल्पयते तत्र भिधान अनुपत्ति. He says, if I heard one part of a sentence, it will not make sense unless I presume something else. Like the example he gives here. For example, yatha dwaram. Like, let us say right now in this class, I look at you and say, dwaram. You know it is a door, I also know it is a door. Why should I say dwaram? What does it imply? Door. Meaning of dwaram is door, dwaram. So why will I in the middle of the class say dwaram?
Close the door. Something.
Exactly. Too much of disturbance, please close it. The intention becomes clear only when you presume pidehi. That's the example is used here. Pidehi, close. Correct? My intention is not stated. I only stated one part, dwaram, because I am taking a class. I don't want to disturb the flow. So I just say dwaram. Are you getting the idea? So unless he presumes that I want it closed, will that word make sense? Unless it is closed, then dwara means open it, let some breeze come in. Yeah, so it's Shrutam, it's heard. But this is one type where the intention has to be presumed. You're doing a big jump. The intention is not fully clear by the words, therefore you're presuming that without this the meaning is not clear. Yeah. I mean, look at this context right here. That example is good for our context. If I say door, nothing other than close will make sense here, isn't it? A door is there. ये फर्क पहन दे. What is that information? Everyone knows door.
So that presumption is logical only when it's contextual.
Yeah, of course it is contextual. Everything, all pramanas are contextual. Understand that. That's a given. Akanksha is there, na? Because of akanksha, why is akanksha going? Because your tatparya is not clear. Door. Look at it right now, door. my tatparya, what I intend to say, will not be clear unless you make a presumption that, hey, too much of noise from outside, please close it. Are you getting it? It's a very, very practically valid example right here. Shrutam. And we do this, no? We do this in life, we do this. कभी इशारा पर भी चलता है ना. बोलना नहीं पड़ता है. Someone comes in late. I just do this. I think recording exercise going on, please go and sit. You can show your devotion afterward. You have to presume that, no? In the same case, what will be an assumption? Swamiji is angry with me. See, he didn't even allow me to come and do namaskar. That's assumption. Why? Contextually, what it means, hey, recording is going on this way. And I'm smiling at you and saying this. I'm not looking at you. But that will become drishtam. And ishara, etc., the sign language is drishtam. It is not shrutam. Here we are talking about shrutam. Okay? What is heard? Dwaram, that's right. Yatha dwaram ityatra pidehi iti pada adyaharaha. You have to bring in that pada. Then he says, he is giving you a religious example now, a Vedic example. Yatha va vishvajitaha yajeta. Hey, do the Vishwajit yaga. बोल दिया पब्लिक में, विश्वजित यागा कर लो. किसके लिए? Whose अधिकार है? From the Shastra, you are. Shastra में देखा मैं जाके. No phalam mentioned. No. Therefore, there is a rule in Mimamsa which says, when there is no specific phalam mentioned, it is presumed that heaven is the phalam. Therefore, who is adhikari for doing Vishwajit Yaga? Minimum, Swarga Kamaha. Then we look at other adhikaras. Should be married. Second adhikara. Yeah. Yeah. For all Vedic, yes, you need a partner to do it. नहीं तो नहीं होता है. Yeah. Very interesting. I'm digressing. Interesting. This priest whom I know in Kerala is putting up a big program. He's inaugurating a new place, this, that, etc. So he wanted me to come and lecture. I said, okay, I'll come. So then his kids were there. So I was sitting and having a chat with the kids. I said, Swami uncle, why didn't you get married? I said, because I didn't want to get married. I wanted to go and study this. But then you can't go to heaven. 10-year-old kid telling me this. I said, correct. I don't want to go to heaven. You don't want to go to heaven? No. Why? I said, there's something better than that. Really? Yeah. But even that kid knew it. And what did I do? I became John Appleseed. Putting the seed there. अभी बाद में देखा जाएगा. Only 10 साल की है ना. So, because of that, that presumption is there. That whenever, because why, now look at why this presumption is coming. Because no yaga or homa or any karma mentioned in the Shastra goes without phalam, result. Therefore, since all these phalam are considered after death, if not specifically mentioned, phalam is swarga. That's a presumption. Also based on the fact that similar karmas have been mentioned where phalam of heaven is mentioned. So what is not mentioned? Swarga kamaha iti adyaharaha. You presume that. You presume that. ऐसा होता है क्या? जब जाके देखना पड़ेगा. Yeah. Okay. इत्यत्र स्वर्ग कामः पदाध्यारः. Okay. Okay. Now he is bringing as usual some Purva Pakshas. Yeah?
In the second case, I know this, I'm presuming because that has also come from the Shastra only, so there is some basis. Because on my own, I cannot. Like, so far as the first one is concerned, it's Vyavhara. I know when you're talking, it's contextual, I can see. But the second one, I am saying Vishwajita Yaga because he knows what that heaven, the idea of heaven itself is from the.
So that is contextual. To whom will it be said? To whom will I say Vishwajit Yaga? Whom will I say that to? To Vaidikas. Exactly. No, to Vaidika. I am not going to go to a college lecture and say Vishwajit Yaga you must do. Yeah. So it is always in context. See, you are stuck on that context. It's always in context. Whom will this? A Vedic example will give it to whom? Vedikas will give it to, na?
Assume that they have a subject
exactly. They have some understanding of the subject matter. Yeah. If I am giving a college lecture, I am not going to say Vishwajit Jaga. Yeah.
Swamiji,
Yeah.
this difference, that Dwaram versus that Saindava Anaya. Okay, so now because of that Dhatu, that intention was clear.
Their intention is clear because of the context. There you don't have to presume anything.
Correct. So
There if you are presuming, it will become an assumption. She assumed it is a horse. And Saindavam, that which has come from the horse also, double. So horse dung.
But then even the salt is more of presumption than assumption. Because
Which-
it's not
which
a-
one?
In the Saindhavam thing that she's saying. Then
No,
she said-
Saindavam, salt is not a presumption. Salt is one of the meanings of the word Saindavam.
No, that is what he meant. That you bring the salt.
Yeah.
And he said,
Saindavam.
so that is more presumption, right? It was presumed that she can bring the salt. But she, on assumption, she
See,
brought the horse.
one second. When he said Saindavam Anaya in that example there are more than one meanings possible. Saindavam can mean salt, Saindavam can mean horse. So in the contextually, what meaning will you take? Salt. If you make horse, what are you doing? Assuming, not presuming. Because the meaning is clear. See, the meaning is there. Only question is, which of the two meanings you are taking? That will be contextual. Yeah. Now, even slang usages, this will be there. Read the book. Very clear, no? You presume the book because I said read. Now, this is good for people who are making a presentation and things like that. You are walking in and I tell them, read. I am looking around saying, read. What will it mean? Hey, corporate guys here. I am looking at read. What does it mean? You are making a presumption. So, what are you? You are walking in for a presentation. This is a context. You are walking in for a presentation. I am doing it with you and I am just saying, read. What is the presumption there? This is where the subtle things come in. Read the room. That's the slang usage. Read the room, the people, what are they thinking, what are they feeling, what is the energy of the room. Read that. Your presumption has to be geared for that. Otherwise, you will keep talking and they will be thinking, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. This is what happens with many presumptions, especially when you are doing it cross culturally. So you presume that when I said read and I looked around, that read meant read the room. It's a little slang usage. It's, not slang, total slang, but still. Yeah. You have to presume that I read the room. I don't want to be very explicit in that. If you presume, I meant read the room.
Presumption can also happen when probably you don't hear properly.
Yeah.
And then afterwards when you're looking at a sentence, you have
That can be assumption also. That can be assumption also. What I hear is a part of the whole thing, then I can presume. Yeah.
Brother, if you don't get the correct word,
Yeah.
that sentence will not
Sentence will not make sense, exactly. Like when I say read here, when this guy walks in and says read, unless he presumes read the room, the people, it makes no sense. Then you say, then you miss the whole point. That's why presumption becomes valid in your day-to-day activities also. Yeah. Because people don't know this, you falter in your communications and things like that. No. Yeah.
Presumption can be wrong also.
Huh?
It can be wrong also.
Any pramana can have upadhis, therefore can go wrong. Yeah. That is part of the upadhi factor there. Yeah. Because vyavaharana is not final. Yeah. So that way, okay. Now a Purva Paksha, okay? Nanu dwaram iti adau अन्वय अभिधानात् पूर्वम इदम अन्वय अभिधानम पिदानम तथा स्थापक पदम विना अनुपन्नम इति कथम ज्ञानम इति. How do you say without the word close? How do you understand that? Without the word close, that meaning does not make sense. Okay. It says abhidhana padena karna vyutpatya tatparyasya vivikshatva. All right. I said door. Don't presume. You understand the meaning close from presumption. See, presumption is a pramana that makes you gives you the word close. Not anything else. You are looking for some other reason. No, the reason for close is presumption. Yeah. Here is saying, how do you understand that it is close? Because of presumption only. He says, and how can you understand the thing will not make sense? All right. Don't use the word close. Door. You can't say open. It's already open. You can't say that is a door. Both of us know that. Yeah. What are you going to say? That sentence will be complete only if you use the word close in this context. It has to be that way. There is no other way. That is called presumption. Yeah. Then abhidhana padena karna vyutpatya tatparyasya vivikshata tathacha dvara karmaka vidhana kriya samsarga paratvam. Okay, now he is going to unnecessarily technical, okay? Without, he says, dvara padasya, the pada dvara that was used, without adding the word pidhanam, kriya samsarga paratvam. Without this kriya, okay, upasthapakadam vina anupattimeva jnanam tatrapi sambhavate. Says without that word, what knowledge are you getting out of it? What is this suddenly coming up? Confirm your speaking language. Oh, because I use Sanskrit. Okay. Yeah. So, without it doesn't make sense, no?
But Swamiji, if the context is different, like
No.
for example, last time we spoke that it's broken and now it has to be repaired. So when we come in and you tell us Dwaram, so then when we are thinking
Again contextual. Can you see? All communication is contextual. All pramana use is contextual. Without that it doesn't work. No pramana. Vedanta also works only in a context. That's why you build up the context. No? Supposing I don't talk about the fundamental problem. What will Vedanta mean? Interesting. It's a nice philosophy. Achha thought. You know, our ancestors really thought well. If you are positive about it. Otherwise, yeah, Vedanta. What problem is he solving? I say कुछ ना कुछ बकता ही है. क्या फर्क पड़ा? मैं awareness हूँ. हाँ ठीक है awareness हूँ. क्या फर्क पड़ा? Someone says I have a soul. He is saying I have awareness. इतना है ना. There will be no understanding. All pramanas work contextually. That's a given. That's a given. Yeah. And all pramanas involve a certain amount of adhikaritva. Even for perception there is adhikaritva, no? 6 by 6 sight is involved, no? No, that's not what is written. That's not clear for you because adhikaritvam lacking, now adhikaritvam is complete. So everything has got adhikaritvam. Yeah. Vina vyapti jnanam, inference cannot be made. Yeah. Achha, that is smoke over. I didn't recognize smoke. Are you seeing it? Yeah. So that which conversely means what? The more you are adept at pramanas, the more you are adept in life.
So I would express myself clearly now. I would just say Dwaram. I would rather say close the door.
Correct?
Yeah.
Context again. I'm taking a class. Don't want the disturbance. Ah, you were making points about context. Why are you dropping the context now? Huh?
The more you are adept at pramana, the more you are adept at
Life.
life.
Isn't it? Vyavahara Kushala, you are only if you are Pramana Kushala. How can you be Vyavahara Kushala without Pramana Kushala? Stock market trading, how much presumptions you all make? Sometimes wild assumption ho jata ho, not presumption. Huh? Yeah. Yeah.
In the example of Vedanta, if the context changes,
Yeah.
the outcome may not change because there is no context which is different.
Huh.
But in this example, with the context, the outcome is changing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Because the presumption will change, no then. As she said, we finished the class. Someone walks in. साहब कुछ काम था दरवाजा carpenter walks in. I said, no, I know he's a carpenter by the toolkit he's carrying. I can see all the saw and all. Darwaja. Haan sir. He understands. He has made the presumption. He may not be very educated, but he has made the presumption that the work I have to do is with respect to the door, and he'll examine the door. No, carpenters don't always depend on what you tell them. For two reasons. He knows his job better. You can give the design, but he knows how to execute it. दरवाजा ठीक कुछ गड़बड़ रहेगा देखेगा क्या करना है. What will you tell him? बंद नहीं हो रहा है. That's all you'll tell him, ना. क्यों बंद नहीं हो रहा? All that he has to find out. How many of us will give him a technical explanation why he is not closing and what he has to do? Then we would have done it ourselves. Yeah. It happens to me very often. I would have done it myself if I had the whole tools and all available. I don't, all the time available. I don't have. If I have to rely on a carpenter. So in one way the carpenters love working with me. Other way it doesn't. Why? You can't bluff me. Anyway, that's a digression. Okay. Okay. So that means it's not just not possible. Okay. The basic idea is this, that the whole thing will be impossible if that word is not presumed, in this case, Shrutam, because about Shrutam. Okay. Then he is making a religious presumption now, a Vaidika presumption. Look at it. Abhihita anupapattischa yatra vakya avagataha artha anupapattena jnataha snanantaraha kalpeti tatra drashtavya. Okay. Sometimes the sentence is clear, but the connection between the sentence and what you want, that is not clear unless you presume something. Okay? In Vyavahara he showed door. Now he is showing Vaidika. Tatra Swarga Kamaha Jyotishtmena Yajeta. A statement. Swarga Kamaha Yajeta Agnishtomena or Jyotishtmena. A statement. You do this yaga if you are desirous of going to heaven. ये यागा 3 घंटे में हो जाता है. All the result I see is only ashes. 40-year-old is doing it. I am going to go to heaven after 40 years at least. So, क्या connection है between this and what is going to happen after 40 years? Okay? He says, तत्र स्वर्गकामः ज्योतिषं यजेत इत्यत्र स्वर्गसाधनत्वस्य क्षणिकयागगतः गतया अवगत्यस्य अनुपत्याः मध्य अपूर्वतं कल्पयते. Therefore, you are presuming something. What is the presumption? You do this yaga, you will get an apurvam, adrishtam, called punyam. That punya will wait to take you to heaven after 40 years when you die. So that punyam in Purva Mimamsa comes in by adrishtam, comes in by arthapatti. Because between this and here, phalam coming 40-year gap. You do this now, your next life will be okay. Abhi karta, next life kya kare? Adrishtam acquiring to you, the punyam coming to you, and you stick, your karma phala coming to you as punya, and that will give you this in your next lifetime. Yeah. Sometimes it can be a problem also you are putting out for next time. This lady did tapas. Great tapas she did. And Shiva came in front of her. Betty, what do you want? A good husband, a good husband, a good husband, a good husband, a good husband. She wanted a good husband so much that she said it 5 times. She was said, Tatastu, may you have 5 good husbands. Huh? I can't handle 5. So she was like, okay, we will put it off for next lifetime and you will be ready for it. That's how Draupadi was born. Okay. So sometimes all this is arthapatti only, no? That there is punya, I will come to you. This is all arthapatti. Why? 2 things here. You are taking the Veda as a pramana. Shabda pramanam we have seen. Can't go wrong.
So same thing with Kunti, when Karna was born.
Yeah. No, that was different. Yeah, that was different. That was a mantra shakti. Yeah. So, in fact, all Kunti sons are born like that only, mantra shakti only. Yeah, yeah. So, the Veda cannot be wrong. That is one fact because it's pramana. Alaukika vishiya pramanatvam. That is there. Then, the other part, the connection between the phalam mentioned there and this. See, Purva Pakshas can be there. How do you say this will give me the result of going to heaven? Result is always immediate. I eat, I feel satisfied. I walk, I reach. I walk, I reach. I exercise, I get fit. So immediate result. How come the connection there is then 40 years later? After death, that also. So unless you presume a punya, that cannot be explained. Because we take it, because we have some shraddha, we take it for granted. Punya se hota hai. But that is arthapatti. So now you understand how much is pramana, how much is arthapatti, how much is what? Yeah. Okay, jnanam tatrapi sambhaveti, okay. Yeah. Therefore, tata swarga kamaha, you have to do the kalpana of heaven. I mean of punya papa. See, here also what is the context? That Veda is true. This is happening after death. Because remember, only 1 in a million will want to go to heaven right now. I am giving this householder a choice. Heaven jane ka abhi? Better kids are young. Yeah. You know, nobody is ready right now. Now, how many people are ready right now? Abhi heaven jayega. There is one Trishanku in the Shastra. Nobody else is ready. Nobody else is ready. So it's always later. Therefore, between now and what will happen later has to be. There has to be something presumed, that apurvam, adrishtam, punyabhavam, whatever you want to call it. All these are terms. Yeah. Apurvam, which is not common. Adrishtam, that which cannot be seen. Punya and papam. Yeah. Both words cannot be strictly translated into English. Okay. Punyam is not merit. Merit can be anything. No? Similarly, papam is not sin, because we don't have the concept of eternal sin, etc. It's karma phalam only for us. That's it. Yeah. Therefore, cultural. You can't translate everything from one culture to another culture. That's okay. Therefore, this presumption on the basis of the Shastra, valid. How do you explain? Tell me what other explanations you can give. Of course, this is a pramana, therefore it has to be true. That's a given. True, correct. Jayega. There is no other explanation possible without presuming that there has to be some adrishtam coming in between. There is no way you can prove it. So the adrishtam proves it. Simple as that. There is no other way. So presumption is valid in both ways. When it is heard, both ways valid. When it is seen, both ways is valid. Yeah. Because literally, when you do a yaga, what is seen? Drishtaphalam is what? Ashes. Besides ashes, do you have any other drishtaphalam? See, we have not thought about it because certain things about karma phala is taken for granted here. No? Assumed. Barabar hai. It's a valid assumption, but it's assumed. Therefore, we don't look into it. What creates it? Yeah. That's why, if there is no basic acceptance of Veda as a pramana, like you take a friend to an astrologer. And the astrologer said, "Nay, this problem is from Purva Janma, this. You have to do this small ritual to take care of it." I don't believe in all that. Correct? You don't have to believe. Unless that basic acceptance is there, there is no way they can do that. No? And the astrologer also understands, I have a friend, astrologer will say, Anubhava Yoga. He says, yoga to go through it. You could have taken care of it, but the yoga is to go and take it. Yeah. The classical case, someone whom I know, some inheritance was due, but it was under challenged by the court case. This, that. He said, do this, within 1 year you will get it. No, he didn't believe it. He says, otherwise will I get it? Chances are good, but it will take at least 10 years. So he went dissatisfied. And it took him exactly 10 years to get it. Could have got it 1 year early. All he had to spend was 30,000-40,000 rupees. In the court, he has spent lakhs. Anubhava Yogam, that means what? The yoga of going through. Yeah.
The lawyers are going to get those things.
Lawyers' prarabdha was strong. Presumption. Why? Otherwise, you can't explain this behavior. Can you see that? So all those things will come in. Yeah. So a lot of things in life works on presumption. We say, it's an assumption, not true. Yes, that's why you have to make the difference. Assumption can be wild. Presumption, there is a precision about it. Yeah. In presumption, there is a certain amount of precision. That there is no way this can be explained without that. That part of it has to be clear. Yeah. Otherwise, we will have to put it to the randomness of human thought. He felt like that, or he didn't think like that. He didn't believe. Okay. Or believe, exactly, yeah. Then it becomes guesswork. Agreed. A lot of life is guesswork also. Nobody is saying no to that. A lot of life is guesswork. Guesstimates, guesswork, yeah. But if you understand pramanas well, your guesswork also will become very, very accurate. Like a good guess, a good estimation is supposed to be within 10% of error. In areas which I know about, my estimate comes within 5% or less. Areas of my knowledge, I don't know. Don't ask me about the stock market, tomorrow will go up or not. I don't know. It's not an area of expertise for me. So I wouldn't know that. In my area of expertise, my estimate works out well. Yeah. Why? Because your pramana, you are handling pramanas and your estimate is based on pramanas. Though there are some unknown areas, we can't have that knowledge. Therefore, that is the estimate part of it. But since the base, there is so much of knowledge coming in, your estimate is more accurate. Yeah. Are you getting the idea of the whole thing? Therefore, accept presumption as a valid means of knowledge. That's why I use the word, I don't say use the word really presumption, I always say deductive logic. Yeah. Because there's a certain amount of deduction there. That's also not the exact, arthapati is arthapati only. But the close terms that comes in English, use these terms. Okay. All right. Then there is some argument why it cannot be part of inference, etc., which we will see next class. And after that, next class, we can also probably go into Anupalabdhi also. Let us see. But minimum this we will see. That why it's not in inference, etc., may require some explanation. Okay, so I don't want to start a fresh topic with just 2-3 minutes to come. So any questions or is it all clear?
Thank you, Swamiji.
Take care. All the best. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you, Swami.